The Golden Rule Stuck in My Mind, Part 2. An Extra Pill Can't Hurt. A sci-fi novella by Valentin Bura. Full text provided for your entertainment and edification. I am the big geek here today, and that's a fact, said Constable Little. The Splash Club was an elite escort club in Wellington. It was run by their guys. Nobody in here moves until I give them clearance, said the constable. Turns out half the girls in there were kept in the premises against their will. That was the case with half the Chinese sex workers in Wellington too. Where my bitch is at? Inquired the Asian dude in a very rude manner. What does this man want? Asked Constable Little. He needs to know where his bitch is at, replied the Maori gang member. Tell him to go fuck himself, replied Constable Little. Go fuck yourself, buddy. This is extortion, said the Maori gang member. Right, where was I? Asked Little rhetorically. You were something about this month's harvest, sir, said the Maori gang member. Right, said the constable. You owe us 2 ladies, he added. Allow me to see what I can do, sir. Wiccans preferably body. I know you have them here. They are rich in feet and content. You see, added Little. Well, here they are, Constable, said the gang member. Ella and Lisa. May I ask what you have in mind this time? He inquired. They're going to Te Ware Matiarangi. Pronto. Our guys are on standby over there, said the constable. And how often will you be harvesting from us, kind sir? It is pretty hard to replenish our stock, you know, said the gang member. Sex work is a little bit of a taboo in New Zealand society, so you can imagine young girls aren't enthusiastic about performing sex work, added the gang member. We need to harvest from you quarterly, said the constable. We need this town and extended suburbs under control as soon as possible, and this can only be done with your help, as you can no doubt judge, said the constable. Coming back from the harvest, Henry? Asked Steve, the commissioner. Yes, sir. All done as you requested, said Henry Little. Explain to me what you've done, Henry asked Steve. 2 units harvested today from the Splash Club, sir. Witches. Both of them. Aha, said Steve. Though I find these methods quite unorthodox, sir, to say the least. You follow my instructions, and stop analysing this stuff, Henry. It is Grand Lodge material and instructions. We need to follow them closely. Yes, sir. Yet the Wiccans are our guys. They help out with various procedures and work in the community on our behalf, sir. Indeed they are, Henry. Where are you getting at? Asked Steve. Well, aren't we turning against our guys on this one? Asked Henry Little. That's only in appearance, said Steve. Their mothers are giving them up, Henry. We have this thing sorted with the coven leaders, all over the country, don't you worry about that. Henry Little suddenly got a major hiccup on this one. He knew well enough this was in fact turning against their own guys, so he felt a little uneasy with this fact. What if he got sloppy in his work? What if Steve would all of a sudden dislike him? What if fortune itself would turn away from him all of a sudden? Would he end up in a bucket too? Is that where everyone was heading? A bucket? Is that what every single guy working in their team was heading towards? Towards being a gimp? In a bucket? These were all valid questions, as far as Henry Little was concerned. Valid points, no doubt about that. You may take the rest of the day off to visit your sister, perhaps, said Steve to Henry. But I want you to check on the engineering department first thing in the morning, Henry added Steve. So tell me more about the Golden Rule, said Henry to his sister Irene. Do unto others as you'd rather have them do unto you, said Irene. And in the negative? Said Henry. Don't do to others what you wouldn't like to be done to you, said Irene. And why's that true? Irene said Henry. You know, I've been thinking about this on and on. Why on earth would this be a priori true, Irene? Inquired Little. It's just a universal law, I'd think, said Irene. So it isn't true a priori? Asked Henry. It is just a contingency, he added. Yes, it is a contingency, said Irene. The golden rule is a contingency, yet it is in fact true in our world, she added. In what way is it true, Irene? Asked Henry Little. The very same thing that I'm doing to others could be done to me. Is it true in this way? He inquired further. No, said Irene. There's no biblical pretense for this to be the case. It is just a commandment to do as we'd like to be done to us, added Irene. Constable, are you actually certain beyond a reasonable doubt that the patients are actually compliant with the medication regime? Asked Mr. Nash the next day. We have investigated this issue carefully, said Little to him. The issue seems to be neurological, said Marvin. The neural pathways aren't developed enough in about 50% of the subjects, he added. And that is due to the medication regime? Asked Little. It should be due to low dosage in the ingested substance. The subjects may have developed tolerance to the substance in question, said Mr. Nash. Ah, right, said Little. Acquired tolerance. I did not see this coming, he added. Indeed, said Mr. Nash. That sort of thing evolves with time, so we couldn't have predicted it in the design phase, he added. So what can we do about this? Asked Little. Increase the dosage to twice the amount, and add a laxative too, for the purpose of absorption, said Marvin. That would be my best solution, he added. Is that going to solve our issues? Asked the constable. It is likely it will solve all of our problems, said Mr. Nash. Well, thank you very much for your time and effort, gentlemen, said Henry Little. Had you seen the guys from engineering, Henry? Asked Steve that morning. Yes, sir, and they seem to have a solution for us, said Little. Please explain, said Steve. The subjects are developing tolerance to the substances, sir, said Little. So the absorption decreases with time, he added. Right, said Steve. It is something they could not have foreseen in the design phase, you see. And the solution? Increasing the dose, plus a laxative for absorption, said Little. Is that all? But how did they reach this conclusion? The neural pathways aren't defined enough in the subjects, sir, said Little. So initially they did think the subjects were somehow dodging their medication regime, until Marvin realized it was a tolerance issue, said Henry Little. Well, so far so good, said Steve. We're actually behind in harvesting. It is good this COVID pandemic is providing us with many more units than we can actually process, Henry said. Steve. The COVID pandemic, sir, asked Henry Little. Yes, didn't you know, Henry? This was a lab project dating back to 2008, said Steve. Yes, but isn't it a little drastic, sir? Asked Henry. What do you mean? Said Steve. It is 6 million people, sir, said Henry Little. As you say, that is a little more than we can ever process with our facilities, he added. Just take the freaking pill, Lisa, said Ella to her friend. I think it's bad for me, Ella, said Lisa. It's just an extra pill, Lisa. An extra pill cannot hurt, said Ella. The two ladies have been in Teware or Mata Irangi for 4 months now. They seemed a little bit drowsy, to whoever paid a little attention. The medication was taking its effect, slowly and surely. Can't you see they are stoning us with these freaking meds? Ella inquired Lisa. It's just a pill, for heaven's sake. Plus, I kind of like it in here. We don't need to do naughty stuff for a living anymore, you know? Accommodation paid. We're all safe in here, said Ella. Yeah, and ignorance is bliss, Ella. What on earth are you going to say next? I'm wondering, said Lisa.